Hey guys, welcome to the Premier League podcast. I'm your host Raheem, and I'm here with my two friends Jake and Z. How you guys doing?
Yo. Well, as always, nice to be back. I know we've got international
Course.
break, but
But it's almost over.
got to get a podcast in.
Definitely.
Yep. All good here.
All good
Just
on your side.
enjoying the England international break.
Enjoying. Well, yeah, I guess the results have been good, so yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean,
I do find it kind of annoying how the international break always comes right like in the middle of like the start of the season, so the season never really feels like it's fully gets going until after the international break. But
Agreed.
part of how it is.
It doesn't make fantasy any either easier either.
No.
I'm like, do I wildcard? Do I not wildcard? Now,
No.
for all the international
Exactly.
breaks.
I wildcarded as
Exactly.
soon as I heard Ronaldo was in the fantasies. In the fantasy, 12.5. All right, who's going? That's what it was like for me.
Watch him not be available because Darren Fletcher gave him something at the airport, and you're like, damn it, wasted.
Well, since we're talking about Ronaldo, and because I can't wait to talk about Ronaldo, let's talk about Ronaldo.
Hot topic of discussion.
I'm obviously very excited. I'm very gassed. I'm not gonna lie. I was at work while all this was unfolding. The Thursday when it looked like he was going to City. I mean, when the rumors first started, I was kind of brushing them off because I was like, "No way. There's no way Ronaldo would go to City. Like he wouldn't do that." So I wasn't even worried, to be honest. I was just like, whatever, that will fall through and something else will happen. And then the rumors started to pick up pace, and Fabrizio started tweeting about it. And you know, when Fabrizio starts tweeting, it's a different thing. And
Here we go.
Oh mate, and I was I'm not gonna lie, I was very anxious about the whole thing. If he had gone to City, I would have been heartbroken. Like heartbroken. He would have ruined his legacy at United. Obviously, he would still be like one of the best players to ever play at Manchester United and whatnot. I'm not going to be one of those fans that would have said, "Oh, he's rubbish" and all the rest of it, because that's just stupid. But he definitely would have ruined his legacy at Manchester United if he had gone to City. And so I was speaking to a lot of colleagues and complaining about it and moaning about it a lot throughout the day. Refreshing Twitter every 2 seconds to find the updates. And I think the moment when things changed was around lunchtime, and I was walking to go get a sandwich or whatnot, and I was listening to Ollie's press conference. And obviously they're like throwing questions at him. Obviously they're throwing Cristiano Ronaldo questions at him. I expected that, but I expected him to brush it all off. And the last question they said, well, you talk about Cristiano Ronaldo being a world-class player and the best player that you've ever seen play the game and whatnot. And then, but why aren't Manchester United in for him? And he said, Ronaldo knows what we think of him. We didn't realise that he was leaving Juventus. But if he does leave Juventus, he knows where we are. And I was like, when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm messaging all my mates. I'm like, you have to listen to all these press conferences, like all my Manchester United friends. I was going crazy. And then from there, it just kept building on. And honestly, I think that Friday I was losing my head.
I think Ollie played it really well, like extending that olive branch. It's weird though, like we didn't hear anything about it a few days away from the deadline, and then all of a sudden these rumors start bubbling up. I know I mentioned it on the WhatsApp, and that's just because I saw the rumor, and then I thought it's also City. Like if there are any clubs that could financially make it happen, it would be them.
Yeah,
but it's almost like if City hadn't have got the ball rolling, there's no way he ends up at United. Like I thought him to City was the only possibility, and then as soon as it was like, United realized, hang on, this is possible. Well, why don't we declare our interest? And then it became like, okay, you're right. The optics of him moving to his, well, I mean, they're like, nemesis, their arch rivals. It's like Figo, Barca to Madrid, somebody throwing a pig's head onto the pitch, sort of thing. But for me, it was all cushy when I heard that Fergie got involved, and he was like, "Yeah, I just gave the young lad a call this morning," and he was just like, "Look, if you go to City, I will personally come and strangle you with a half and half scarf. Like seriously, don't do this. Don't do this. You can make better decisions. And I mean, I know that Ronaldo thinks the world of him. You know when they won the
course he does.
Euros, him and Nani walking down those steps, and
Oh,
Fergie's just
I
in the
love that
side,
video.
and he
I
calls
love that
out. He's like,
video.
"Hey, boss!" And he stops in his tracks. Doesn't do it for anybody else. He only does it for him. So
Yep.
I was like, he's got so much sway and guidance and like mentorship, and he just respects him. He loves him like a second father. So I
Yeah.
was
I
like, as soon
mean,
as Fergie got involved, I was like, if that's not going to sway him, nothing ever would.
yeah.
But then it's
Yeah.
like, you can carry on that legacy. Everything ties in perfectly. Like he's against Newcastle if he can start. What better way
Brilliant.
to get off your mark by scoring 17 goals against the Magpies? Like after the
Yeah, I
15th,
agree.
will unlock lifetime's 50% savings at Sports Direct. Like Mike Ashley will personally come down with a.
It's quite the matchup. Ronaldo, like the strikers, Ronaldo and Joe Linton.
Yeah. To be fair, Alan San Maximan might finally have somebody to,
Hey, Max.
Look at these skills I can. Look at these skills I can do,
Yeah.
Cristiano.
I grew up watching your like Yoga Bonito videos and stuff. But yeah, I mean, Ronaldo is just like a seismic moment, I think, right now.
Oh,
Mm.
100%. Yeah. I
In
think, yeah, like you said
football.
as well, the way that the transfer happened as well just like made it even more
So
like
quick
a
as well,
big
like
thing.
so fast.
So fast. Yeah, it was crazy. United never moved that fast. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is that really Manchester United making these type of movements?
Yeah.
That's because one of the legends was going to their arch rivals. Of course, they're
But
going to move
that's it. They
fast.
couldn't.
Exactly.
I think you're right there, Z. When you was talking about how if City didn't get involved, probably he may not have gone to United. Because I think it's one of those things where like Fergie and all the some of the old legendary players like Rio and all that. Like you can't let Ronaldo go to City. Like they're like Fergie getting involved with the board. I'm sure he was having words with Ed Wood and those man there. And you just can't let someone like Ronaldo, who's got such a massive like legacy and history with this club, definitely one of the best players to play at the club. You can't let him go and play at a rival club. Like you can't let that happen because the ramifications of that is just too it completely destroys some of the legacy that we had at the club and for Fergie as well. Like it's
Partly
Fergie's boy. He said it
interesting.
himself. He said it himself. He
Exactly.
says it's my
Partly
boy.
interesting because he took on that Juventus project after Madrid because he became a bit disillusioned with them, issues, Perez, him, Zidane, whatever. But him
Yeah.
going to Juventus was basically supposed to be his sort of like Tom Brady moment, where even though he's already gone from United to Madrid was so dominant, and Juventus were contenders. I mean, they'd made 2 finals. He probably thought, man, if I go to Juventus, I am that missing piece that can get them this long, sought after Champions League trophy. And if I do that at a third club, like, this stuff must be going through his mind, the whole like Messi
Oh yeah.
Ronaldo thing. And Messi's only been at one club. He's done it
100%,
various
yeah.
places. So he probably thought, hang on, if I go City, yeah, they got there last year, but I don't think United are that far away. Like, what have United really needed recently? A clinical striker. Like
Yeah.
Fernandez has been
And
scoring
a
most of
Fred
their pens and
replacement.
their goals. Exactly. So Martial's form has dipped. Rash has been injured, and Cavani is there, but obviously Cavani wasn't on the top of everyone's
Well, he
list
can't
at the
play
start.
every game, I don't
Exactly.
think, Cavani.
He's a great backup to have to someone like Ronaldo, but
Mm.
I think Ronaldo coming in, 36 doesn't matter. Like world class, one of the all-time greats. He's probably going to finish unquestionably top 2, and you can just have them whichever way you want them. But yeah, him probably thinking it's not like he can go back to Sporting or something and lead them to glory. But United, yeah, everyone knows him from United. That's a chance for him to be like, actually, yeah, I can take a club as old as I am and bring them back to their former glory. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I mean,
writing on the wall anyway.
I think I agree with you there. I think United are in a good place as well right now. I mean, with the players that we brought in, I mean, Varane had his debut, and he looked he looked really good. Like he looked proper class on the pitch. And although United didn't look that great in that game, I think Varane did look good in that game. And I think the players that we're bringing in, Sancho as well, and the players that we brought in the past, like Bruno and Maguire, the improvement of players like Shaw, Shawberto Carlos, this like honestly, I do think we're at a place now where I think we have to be at least challenging for the league, and I know that there is that there is that weakness in the CDM area. And that's the only thing that worries me because I mean those last 3 games. I mean Leeds doesn't count, but maybe the last 2 games, Southampton and Wolves, you really see how much we need a central defensive midfielder. Like someone like if we had gone and got Basuma, I think we would have been done. Like that would have been it. The team would have been sorted, and we'd be really up there. I think competing with Chelsea and City.
I heard rumours
But
that
with
you guys
Ronaldo, we still can. But
are interested in Frank Kessie as well from Milan. Funnily enough, he looks to be on the way out. He would be perfect. Like dude's,
I don't
hardly
know
gets
much about
dispossessed.
him. Obviously,
So
you do.
strong. He's
yeah.
24, 25.
Yeah.
Ivory Coast, Ivorian. Like the first few years a bit finicky, but then he really grew into that role because alongside Ismail Benacer, they're like the best midfield duo, arguably, in the league when they're healthy. And it was just them double pivot. Benacer is amazing intercepting. Imagine like an Algerian Kante, really. And Kessie's got that
Love
more
that.
like Seedorf-esque build where he's just super strong. He can go toe to toe with Lukaku. Like that's how strong this dude is. And he's just, I think like physically he has everything and like unlimited stamina. Technically he's got it on a much better way, much better passing ranges, finding passing lanes, carrying the ball, distribution, doesn't get dispossessed easily. So yeah, I thought he would be good for United, but I don't know what the issue is like in terms of transfer fee and whatnot. So plus the window's closed now, but maybe for Jan. But yeah, just all those rumours floating around. I thought United had been linked with him.
Yeah, I think just United didn't really put him as that position as a priority. Sancho was a priority, a centre back was a priority, and then when Ronaldo became available, Ronaldo was a priority. But I think Ollie is happy with the options he has. I think he would like to have another one, like another CDM, but I don't think he thinks it's necessary for him to do what he needs to do.
I think he had a great window.
He's definitely had a great window. He can't, like no United fan can complain. Obviously, we did want the CDM, but we can't complain when you brought in Ronaldo, Varane, and Jadon Sancho. And Tom Heaton. Don't forget, important one.
big one, the big one.
Big one.
Yeah. Speaking of great transfer windows, even from last year, the year before that, the Chelsea game. Their players, especially the new ones like Havertz, obviously getting that first goal. Did you watch it as well, Raheem?
Yeah, I watched it. The Liverpool Chelsea game. I did.
Jake, what are your thoughts? I know my thoughts. I'm pretty clear on it, but
let's hear what the Chelsea fans got to say.
I mean,
let the Chelsea fans start.
I mean, where do we even start? Really? Good. It's an interesting one because I was watching. I think 11v11 would have been a great game.
Yeah.
I think
it
had the makers of a good game. I think
definitely.
I think we'd have won it at 11v11 because we'd have done exactly what we'd done in the second half and just shut Liverpool out. And might have nicked another goal, and maybe nicked the win. But I didn't think we were going to. I was more and more watching it. I had a feeling we weren't going to lose. Obviously, Havertz gets the opening goal. But took me by surprise. I was like, oh.
It's one of them FIFA things where you're like, man, that's not even real. You can't head it with the back of your head and it loops over Alisson. Like, what is this? But it was a fantastic goal.
Like Havertz can.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's what he wants, mate.
I didn't know he had that in him, to be honest.
But yeah, then obviously kind of let Liverpool back into the game a little bit, and then obviously there's a bit of pressure on it. And then we have the incident.
Controversial instant.
Penalty.
Reece James.
Penalty, yes.
Yeah.
100%. I said that on the chat on that.
Yeah.
100% penalty, not denying that. Red card, quite harsh actually.
Right. Well, let me just stop you there for a second, Jake. What do you agree with that, Z? Obviously you've got more of an affiliation with Liverpool. Do you agree with that red card?
See, like for me, I even got my notes down. Like it just it says James red card, clear as day, but it's not cynical. It's pure instinct. Like so when it hits his leg, the trajectory of the ball's taking it into the goal, right? And there's milliseconds in this, and his arm comes forward. I don't blame him. Anyone would do the same thing in that position. It's not like he Luis Suarez Ghana out of the World Cup. He just instinctively saw the ball still moving towards him after making an attempt to block it. He swipes his arm out, like he's writing a check, as I said, but he didn't mean it. But that's where they're trying to remove a bit of subjectivity from the game, right? Isn't like, did you stop a clear goal scoring opportunity within a legal party body? Yes, he did. He even, like, as soon as he got the red card, he was like, "What?" You just see him standing there. Mane is like, "Yo, let me give you a hug," and he's like, "Man, I want a hug. I want to stay on the pitch." Like, I didn't mean to do it, but that obviously shaped the game. 11v11. I think Chelsea. I think Chelsea were the better side. Like, I don't think anybody can argue that Chelsea weren't the better side because down to 10 men, defensive masterclass.
Very well, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
Tuchel is just on point with the way his system is set up, and
he is.
Kante getting injured, replacing him with Kovacic was just brilliant. Like, Kovacic is the ball is glued to the guy's feet. Kante has that same thing where he can dribble into passing lanes. He's great box to box, super versatile. He'll hold the ball up, and if he does lose it, he'll just go get it back. Like, that's just standard Kante. But Kovacic is so much more dangerous. Better passing range, better shooting range, fantastic dribbling. He can move the entire length of the pitch. He's got great strides as well. He really does run like fast with the ball at his feet. But they didn't make him do that. They actually just let Lukaku see if he could gow on the counter. He was abusing Matip all day, but Van Dijk was no problem. And I think Kovacic really, second half, was the best player overall. Just the whole defense. Like, James was great before he got sent off. Aspi and Christensen were fantastic, but man of the match, Mendy. Like, they just limited. It's such a crazy thing. Like, Liverpool are a world-class side, and Tuchel's just, well, surely it's not going to happen. Liverpool are all about playing intricate play with Mane, Salah, Firmino. They were forced to taking shots outside of the box. This is arguably one of the most potent attacking sides in the league.
I think
that looks like a championship-winning side this early in the season.
One of the things, because obviously what they were saying in, like, Z and Jake. However, the rule that they have down is that is a red card offense. So if there's any what the ref did was correct. If there's anything wrong, it's the rule that is incorrect, and they may have to look at it again. But the thing is, I do wonder. I think it's harsh. I do think it's a harsh red card. But at the same time, someone said something to me that made me think, you know what, that's a good point. Because they said if the player didn't get the red card, and obviously you still get the penalty because no one's going to argue that's not a penalty. What if you missed the penalty because you've literally just stopped a clear goal scoring chance? Like, that was going in a goal. Like, that was 100% going in a goal. So if you then reduce it to a penalty and like no card, and you miss the penalty, they've just stopped a goal completely with their hands that would have 100% been a goal. And so I don't know what would be the best answer, because it still feels harsh to me for that person to have a red card. But at the same time, I do also understand that, you know, if that was United and we got the penalty and we missed the penalty, I'd be annoyed, because I'd be like, well, we should be 1-0 up.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, you take a risk when you have a penalty shootout. It's not guaranteed to score, but it's a foul. It's a red card. It's a penalty. Absolutely. Like, obviously, like, it bounced off his knee, and then I think what does it for him is he flicks his arm out. Which makes it look like he's gone nope, and then batted it away. But like, the issue I think, look, Chelsea fans and myself have, is the fact that the referee, our good old friend Anthony Taylor, who has bucked us so much, I must say, and literally, like, basically looked over there. The VAR was already on the freeze frame of the ball hitting his hand, and he went, he didn't play it, and he went bosh, banging penalty. I thought, and all that. He didn't. Most of the time when referees go for the monitor, they watch the build up to it.
They watch the
incident. They watch the aftermath, and they watch it a couple of times to make sure it was already freeze framed on the ball on Reece James' hand, and he went, yes, penalty. Not wrong. 100% not wrong, but
the process is wrong.
But the process is wrong. Yeah,
but watch the build up to how the ball hits his arm, hits his fight, then comes up to his arm. He's an idiot because he's flung his hand at it. That's kind of what sold. That's really what sold it. Like, not that it needs to be sold. It's a penalty, like 100% a penalty. But like, just follow through the process of what other referees do with VAR, because they'll watch the before, the instant, the aftermath.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not the first time Anthony Taylor's fucked us, and I guarantee it's not going to be the last time either.
Just because he was right about that, you think like, oh, maybe he's having a decent game, but then obviously not booking Fabinho once and allowing that many fouls, quite cynical fouls and momentum shifting fouls without producing a card for Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, He's not
Yeah.
a good referee. It's just a broken clock is right twice a day.
He's a dickhead.
Like, yeah, he was right on the decision, but his working out. It's like maths when you're at school. It's like, show you're working out for 2 extra marks. And you're like, no, 2 plus 2 is 4 though. Yeah, but you get 2 extra marks if you prove how you get there. Anthony Taylor doesn't know how he gets to his decisions. Sometimes they're right though. He is formidably stuck at key stage 2 maths level. He's not a very smart man.
Yeah, I'm like, I was looking through. There's a massive Twitter feed from Chelsea fans about literally everything Anthony Taylor's done wrong against us, and it actually is quite bad. Like, it's
Really?
not. It's like
Long
it starts
list.
in like 2014 and it keeps on going. There's like, I think he was the referee last season when we drew 0-0 United at Old Trafford, and basically Harry Maguire
Oh, is this the one where he?
chokeslammed Aspi into the ground.
Yeah.
And then
I
obviously
remember.
the FA Cup final where Mateo Kovacic got trod on and he got sent off. How does that work? So
I think,
yeah, it's just
I think. I mean, obviously, there
it's
are
just
some
it's just a
referees
shit,
that
it's
are.
just a shit ref, mate. That's all it is.
Oh yeah,
It's just
I
an
mean,
awful
no
referee.
disagreements here along across the board here. I mean, on Chelsea a bit more because obviously Z, you were saying about how great their midfield was. You got Kovacic, you got Kante, you got Jorginho, and now you got
So,
Saul Niguez. I mean,
so,
how good is that Chelsea midfield?
Yeah, they're stacking it pretty hard. Weirdly though, I think Kante went off for Kovacic. It wasn't
yeah, he
like
did.
a tactical swap. It was a slight injury. Like
Kante
I
got
didn't
injured.
follow up. God, man, that he's actually pretty damn resilient. But occasionally he'll have like a few things. I don't know if it's like a hamstring or something to do with his legs, but it knocks him out for a while. He
I think it was
misses
his
a few
ankle
games.
because he
Yeah.
like right at the end of the half he got into a bit of a tangle with Sadio Mane. I
Ah,
think Mane landed on his lower leg, and he was like hobbling from then, and that's when obviously the change came. He came off for Kovacic, and I think Havertz came off for Thiago Silva.
yeah. And Silva was amazing. Like second
Yeah,
half, but
such
it's
a
just
good
that like
player.
added defensive strength.
Mm.
One thing I love about Tuchel though is like he's definitely got it's like a bend but don't break, like defensive mind where he'll allow you to have pop shots from 20, 30 yards out. He'll allow you to get a few crosses in the box as well. But he's just like, look, hold the shape, hold the line. You can bend, you can allow them to have a little bit of, of an attack build up, but just don't have that one critical mistake. And even a man down, they're so resolute. They're so well
Yeah,
versed. I remember a quote from him actually. I think shortly after he started, he said something about, I'm going to build a team that other teams are going to hate to play against. And he's only been in like a year, and he's absolutely delivered on that. It wasn't even a promise. He just said it off the cuff, and it's like, holy crap, this guy's terrifying.
He's like, he said, we want to build a team that people are scared to play against, and that was like after his first game, and he'd done it already.
Because you got to be on point now playing Chelsea, because that was the defensive side. Obviously, I think with 11 men, they probably, I don't know if they would have won, but they were the better team overall for sure. So you'd imagine that they would have had more. And even a man down, they had really good chances on the counter. Like, I was surprised by that. Liverpool almost committing too many people forward. But going forward, like, Lukaku's not going to be having such a quiet game like that again. Any level game, 11v11, he's probably just going to run amok, which just makes it even worse that I don't have him in my team yet. But, I'm praying you get as a 1-pointer.
Any worries on your side, Z, for Liverpool that they couldn't break down this 10-man Chelsea side? Any worries for going forward with the season? Because obviously last year when Liverpool went through that tough patch, you were struggling to score goals.
Yeah, I think it's come back as well. Like a couple of seasons ago, Mane and Salah were firing on all cylinders, and Firmino's role was like not underrated, understated maybe, where he wasn't having the same like prolific output, but he's so vital to the way they play. Those like samba flicks. He'll get the ball for a split second, a tiny touch, and it just completely opens up like an opposing side's defense. But he hasn't been on form. I don't think Jota offers the same, and it's almost like
He's a
I
different
consider.
player.
I consider Salah to be quite a greedy player.
Yeah,
Mane's
definitely.
a bit more selfless, but Salah's greediness has rubbed off on Mane because there have been so many times and they have like had little scuffles and stuff before. Jota seems to be like a lot more of a poacher with brilliant ability to head for someone of his height. And it's like, how do you mix all three of those in there? Firmino's the guy that gives up his role to enable Mane and Salah. So it's like a three-headed, attack almost, but with two real prongs. These guys are they all try and go for the same thing. One of them has to sacrifice their play to either hold up or play a killer pass. Because right now there's almost like too much flair, not enough finish. I think that obviously had an effect. I mean, they came close outside of the foot Salah cross. Jota got his head on it, but I don't think it was going to go past Mendy anyway. But it's that same thing. They've always got to fashion chances out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And against teams like Chelsea, I mean, European champions, top teams, you need something a bit more reliable than hit and hope. So I think that's got to be an issue for Liverpool. But at the back, they look pretty solid. Getting beaten by that Havertz header is no defensive lapse, really, other than, you could have marked him better. But just the way it came off, it's kind of like you're never going to save that. Just catches you unaware.
Plus, it was just a really good header, like it really was.
Yeah, like it's just one of those you can't even be mad. You're like, all right, cool, fair enough.
Yeah,
like you just got to get back in the game.
It looked like he was just trying to just flick it to the back post, and it kind of just like went in.
Yeah,
right. But I did enjoy watching Liverpool. I really enjoyed Harvey Elliott. I thought he was he was phenomenal for a young kid.
Good.
He is very
so good. But
a lot of potential there.
With what you were saying here about like being a bit more intricate, I find Liverpool sometimes can be a bit too intricate, and I found that a lot when they was playing against us. Like far too many little neat flicks and stuff, trying to go around that. And like when there was clear options open, they were like, "Oh no, I'm gonna go here. We can do a little flick, and it'd be really fun." Obviously that kind of makes Chelsea kind of, oh, okay, they're just like pissing about. Let's just stay where we are. They ain't going anywhere.
That's probably not the way to play against a team so well structured like Chelsea's team. Yeah.
Liverpool tried it. Like they came out all guns blazing in the second half. That exact mentality. Like, right, they're a man down, ruffle their feathers a little bit, give them like information overload, and wait for them to commit a mistake, have a defensive lapse, and they just didn't.
No.
Like that is demoralizing for you. It's like a boxer going ham and just throwing every single punch and every single combo, and they're just not landing. It's like, right, well, you guessed. Like, you're tired. So it's now easier for them to figure out their job, and that's why the counter worked so well. Liverpool were knackered after a point, I think, and Chelsea still posed a threat on the counter. So,
I think if that was played for another half, like another full 90 minutes, I still don't think Liverpool would have scored.
No, genuinely, I don't think they would have got past it. Like, it's just one of those days. He's just not getting past Mendy and that defense.
Simple defense.
The biggest travesty is that I think that's shaping up to be like a classic game as well. So the fact that we kind of got robbed,
we did get robbed of
second half with the controversy, but hopefully the return.
Hopefully we'll see that in the return. I mean, do you think that with obviously you talking about Jota and Firmino and how you miss Firmino when he's not playing and whatnot, you let Shaqiri go, you let Wijnaldum go. Didn't bring any players in apart from obviously Konate, who you already sorted out in January. Is that a bad? Like, are Liverpool going to regret not recruiting in this summer transfer window?
I think they'll have enough to get away with it. I say that with Van Dijk back, their offense is basically going to offensively they're going to struggle, but they can still eke out 1-0 wins all day, and that's the issue. Is but are they going to be putting their foot down people's throats like they normally do with those 3, 4, 5-0 hammerings of even the lower ranked teams? That's we got to see. I mean, Harvey Elliott is nothing with Wijnaldum, but more young players are getting spots in the side. Even like Tsimikas.
Yeah.
Actually, we had two really good games to start.
Tsimikas.
Obviously, once Robbo's healthy, you have to play him because it's just a no-brainer. I don't think any team in the league, arguably in football, relies more on their wing-backs than Liverpool to create.
I agree with that.
And that's another thing where if you lose one, they're like a two-piece Exodia. So you got to have them both in there. But Robbo looked good. I think Trent looked better, but the same issue. Like, he's only got Jota, really, who's good at heading the ball, and against such tall Chelsea defenders and ones who are so good in the air, that's too much to ask. Like, Jota needs to be a foot taller to make that work. He needs to be a Ronaldo sort of figure to be able to outjump everybody. So, yeah, I don't think their transfer window will hurt them too much. The depth,
as long as they don't get injuries, that is.
That's the thing, because they're not exactly noted for their depth. I mean, Milner's been like their sub player for so long, for coming off people like Hendo and stuff and fitting into wherever they needed him to, simply because Klopp runs a tight ship and he expects everyone to be super fit. And they, like you said, as long as they don't get injured, he'll very rarely rotate. Like, he will rely on people. That's why Matip is in right now. I think Gomez is a bit of a niggle, but as long as you prove that you can string together a few good performances, and he'll allow you a few, bits of benefit of the doubt if you get a bit unlucky, he'll try and keep you in there. So, yeah, unless injuries become a bit more rampant, I think he'll be fine with whatever team he has. Klopp will figure out the system, but Liverpool, Liverpool's still good overall. It's just
no, I agree. They do
and
still look
they were
good.
lucky to get away with a point.
I think against a less well disciplined and organised team, they would have won that game. If it was anyone other than Chelsea, they would have broken them down in that second half, and
I agree.
It'd have been a whitewash. But unfortunately, they came up against Thomas Tuchel's well drilled and oiled machine.
Oh, look at you! You're so gassed. You're so happy saying that.
Thomas Tuchel's actually done a madness.
Yeah, no, he
Chelsea,
really has.
From where we were in January, and we're European champions now. In 6 months,
I was skeptical too.
He's proved everybody wrong.
I'm not gonna lie.
What an absolute...
He proved me wrong. I was skeptical.
I mean, PSG proved everybody right as well, because they are so brash with their decisions. But
but I did
that much wrong.
I did say to you, Raheem, on our Facebook group, like when you said, "Oh, who do you want?" I want Thomas Tuchel. I did say, and we got him. And once
and
again,
look at
I'm right. I'm right again.
Once again,
it's on the rare times I'm right.
Well, let's segue on to the next bit. Another thing that you guys were both right about was Arsenal taking an absolute drumming from Man City. I remember you both in sync said that Arsenal stood no chance.
Yep.
And I think we all, in our predictions, predicted at least 3 goals, them conceding 3 goals. I mean, that was, for me, one of the most one-sided football matches I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, honestly, I'm not even exaggerating. The stats, when you look at the stats, it's ridiculous. But watching the game,
Is it like 9% possession in the second half or something?
In the second half, yeah.
Whew.
They had 1 shot in the entire game, and it wasn't even on target.
I'm pretty sure that if you play FIFA and you just put your controller down, when you try and tackle somebody that's not actually playing, it's mad hard. They can still get like 25% possession doing that.
They didn't even get a corner.
Nope.
No. I mean, Granit Xhaka doing Granit Xhaka things.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Is a truly wondrous, splendid bit of business from Arteta. Yeah, I definitely want to keep the one guy who can't play more than 5 games in a row without
getting a red card,
getting where the stadium is, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But to be fair, this is on the flip side. I know we love rinsing Arsenal, but if you look at to make it easier from a fantasy perspective, I had Arsenal players. I had White and Saka to start the season. I still think they're going to end up okay. They're not going to be in a relegation.
I agree.
They just look dreadful, because what else do you expect against the European champions and probably the most potent attacking team and possession-based attacking team in Premier League history in City? They were never going to win those. They just lost them harder than people thought. But I never even thought they would come a point. I thought they might have 3 points, after 3 games. The Brentford, they're on 0. 0 to 3. People are like, oh, they've got 0 out of 9. No, those 6 points they were never going to get anyway. They were 0 out of 3, right? They're only 3 points away. So now they got Norwich, and that's a real test, because
it's going to be a big game for them. They can't afford to lose that.
Arsenal assets out immediately.
It's very rare this early in the season we get a relegation 6-pointer this early in the season. Match day 4. You know what I mean?
It's just perfectly setting up for a pookie party.
The party pooker. But it's bad. It's bad when Norwich are above you in the table, and they've also not won a
They've
game.
not won a game, but they've scored one goal, and that's the difference.
That
You
too.
see?
I saw somebody
That's
say
why. That's why.
say that about Arsenal. They were arguing somewhere. And the guy was like, "Oh, actually, you know what? You have a point. Unlike Arsenal." I was like, "Man, it never stops." Jesus.
It just doesn't.
Someone told me
Their fans
that.
deserve this, though. Their fans deserve this. They're so deluded for the most part. That
Yes.
here's a slice of reality. Because now everyone's mocking them, like, "Oh, you're going to get relegated." They're like, "No, we're not." It's like, yes, we know you're not actually going to go down, but
It's funny to
think
say
that.
it. Yeah. I think someone said to me, and it is true. Fred has more goals this season than Arsenal as a team.
He's put him in the
Which
wrong net.
makes
That's
me
the thing.
laugh.
He's put it in the wrong net.
No, Fred's not. Fred's got a goal as well in the first game against Leeds, didn't he?
Oh, did he score?
He did. He did. So he's got one goal.
You said Fred, and I was like, Fred Flintstone? Actually, yeah, that must be right. Like, I don't even check the stats. Fred Flintstone has definitely outscored Arsenal this year.
No, but I mean, on a real though, like you said, I do think Arsenal will be okay. They're going for the tough start to the season, and obviously they're missing like 6 players, which is quite a lot. But I think Gabriel and Ben White will be back this weekend. And Thomas Partey, I think, is back in training, so they're slowly starting to get
Partey back.
100%. Yeah, it'll be really. I mean, as long as they can keep him fit, that's their challenge. Keep the guy fit. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they're struggling with keeping him fit, but he needs to stay fit because I feel like he's missed so many games since he's joined Arsenal.
He never had issues. I think we mentioned this before. He never had issues at Atletico.
No, he didn't.
Since he's come over.
Yeah. I think when he plays, he's one of the best players on the pitch, so he has to stay fit.
Yeah.
Especially with the money they paid as well. Like, just every aspect of it is they need him to be available. Otherwise, they've got no other options. But yeah, Ben White coming back would be pretty important.
And Gabriel. Both
Gabriel,
of them
that's
together.
huge. I think Gabriel Partey as well will also help Ben White showcase, like, okay, I'm actually worth what you guys paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Paid for me. You just can't judge me when I've got dipshits like Shaq. God, man, that guy is so ridiculous.
I can't believe he did that again. Like, honestly, you think to yourself, "Oh, he's learned," and then he goes and does it again. I mean, they were gonna sell him to Roma. He was literally,
they gave him a new contract, man, and he does that.
They gave him a new contract.
Cheers, guys.
The captain's arm banned again.
Yeah, thanks for that, guys. I'm gonna get sent off now. There was a pretty damning statement of where Arsenal were at, because there was a good 20 to 30-second period in the game where Ederson just stood there with the ball like, "Are you gonna come at me or what?" And the entire Arsenal attack just stood there and looked at him and were walking around going, "What do we do? What do we do?" And Ederson's like, "Come on, like literally egging them on, like, come on, like, do something."
At that point, they had gone into ultra defensive mode. But I think it shows a lot, actually, when you look at the difference between Arsenal going down to 10 men and Chelsea going down to 10 men, and like the teams couldn't be more different. Like,
you not compare us to Arsenal, please.
Well, I am.
We are much better. We are much better.
It's in a good way, I'm saying you were complete opposites.
Yeah.
You showed how you defend with 10 players, and they showed what you don't do.
You just need a decent manager, really, and decent players.
That helps, but on top of all that, though, when you're champions of something, there's a lot more at stake. You can't afford to lose, not only to minnow clubs, because then it's like a giant killing, right? Like Brentford beating Arsenal. If Arsenal had won something recently that actually mattered, would be a much bigger story. But instead, it was like, man, there's always a possibility. Like, Brentford just wanted it a little bit more. Brentford had something to prove. Arsenal don't seem to have anything to prove. All their players want to do is get massive paydays and not play anymore. So
apart from Saka, man,
great place for me to work. I'd love to work at Arsenal.
Poor Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, man, he's a legit player, man.
That's
he's
my guy, man. That's my guy.
But
I think Norwich, they've got Burnley coming up. Brighton
and Spurs.
Spurs.
Brighton will be tough. Burnley will be tough as well. Burnley are really hard to break down.
Always down, especially with Pope.
I think they're away to Burnley, aren't they? After Norwich, so that's tough.
Yeah, so Burnley, Brighton, those are both tough games. Norwich,
And-
they should be beating Norwich.
I mean, they
be.
should
I
do,
mean, they should
but
be
like
beating all of them, but you know what I mean. In their state
This
right
is the
now,
thing.
in
Norwich
their
is the
current
one they should be
form.
beating.
They don't beat Norwich, then I would be very. I'd like.
Yes.
Okay, you can legitimately start being
Then
very
you'd be
concerned.
worried. Yeah,
If you're not going to get over Norwich, Burnley, and they've got that really easy run, like the second half of your season is backloaded with all the tougher fixtures at the end where it matters.
yeah.
Like, yeah, relegation may not be the thing, but I think they were 8th last year, 7th the year before that, 6th the year before that. As in, if they want
No,
to get
they're
any
back to back 8th.
Yeah,
Back to back
eighth.
8th.
Arteta's back to
God,
back
even
8th.
worse. I tried to throw him a
I
bone
think
there.
18th this year.
Get right back out. But yeah, I mean, European football is going to be a pipe dream
Oh yeah,
for Arsenal this season. And to be fair, I was thinking about this recently. Somebody asked me, like, they were talking about Ings. And they were like, oh, what's his record against the top 6 or the traditional top 6? I'm like, you can't even really use that metric anymore. West Ham, Leicester, Wolves, not so much last season, but the season before that, all been better than Arsenal in the last 3 years, comfortably. Leicester and West Ham are much better sides than Arsenal. So I'm starting to even stop considering
That's the
Arsenal as
thing.
a top 6 team, because if you don't finish top
That's the
6
thing.
in the last 3 seasons, you get knocked out of the top 6 rankings. Like it's got to be like a rolling cumulative effect, right? And
Yeah.
you can't just be like top 6 because you were invited to get battered in the Super League. Like that's not how it works.
Yeah, I think Leicester have been more consistent over the last however
Yeah.
many years than Arsenal, definitely.
And shit, they won.
So you
Like Leicester are technically a top 4 club if you want to go back.
Oh yeah. I
the
can see the Leicester part of top 4.
last 6 years. I think that win holds so much weight. But yeah, it's going to be do or die for Arteta over the next few games.
All
Arsenal,
or nothing.
100%.
pretty much.
All or nothing. Like this is. Oh, I can't wait till
And
that comes
speaking
out.
of Arsenal's next game, obviously we've got next week's
Fixtures.
games.
Yeah,
Finally.
let me get your opinions on some of these games then. So, I mean, it's going to be great to have the Premier League back after the international break. I'm always excited when it's back. There are some interesting games on. We'll start with Manchester United versus Newcastle, the debut of Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7.
Possibly.
He will start. He will start.
Possibly.
What are you guys thinking? Scores. Will Ronaldo start? And
Hope he starts. I really hope he starts. And it seems like, you guys saying he's geared up for a return. He came back a little bit early. He's got quarantined
He
for
did.
5 days. That should. I think he came in 2 days ago. Saturday possibly, but let's say he came in Sunday. That gives him until Thursday, so he's got plenty of time. I think he actually is allowed to train on his own. I mean, it's Ronaldo. I know he'll be training wherever he is in a car
he
park,
definitely
it doesn't
will.
matter.
Yeah, I mean,
But
when Varane was isolating, he was training.
yeah,
So
especially after his international game, like he looks in great form. That's no issue. So it's all geared up to him. I think they absolutely batter Newcastle, going 4-0.
even if he doesn't start, he will definitely come off the bench.
Even if he doesn't
will
start,
play in that
4-0.
game.
If he starts, double figures. But no. I'd love for him to get like a hat trick or something. Obviously, Charlotte is obsessed with.
Your fiance
Ronaldo,
is
she's
obsessed
over
with
the moon.
Ronaldo.
And she should be doing the same thing as you. She'll be getting Ronaldo in her team as well. But yeah, I think United walk all over Newcastle. It's going to go like the fairy tale it's building up to.
Let's hope. All right, what's the score? What are you saying? 4-0, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, Jake?
I think you're not going to win easily, I think. But I don't see it being, I think, like 2-0.
2-0, okay.
I reckon they'll absolutely dominate Newcastle, but it'll be like they'll just get 2 goals. It'll be one of those games.
Okay. I'm going to go 3-0 United. And Ronaldo will start. That's what I'm going with. Let's see. Obviously, I'm hoping for that. So let's see how it goes. Leicester, Man City. That's an interesting game.
Ooh.
They always have great games against each other. Last season, Leicester banged City. Was it 5-2? So, what are you saying? Leicester at home.
I reckon City got this one. Leicester haven't been in great form recently.
They haven't, no.
So I think City 3-0, I'm going to say. or 3-1
Wow.
possibly. But then you never know, because it always seems like when Leicester are in a bit dodgy form, they always turn over Man City. So I'm my head's saying Man City win, but then again, Leicester could pull some madness off.
You can't sit on the fence. You have to give a.
I said Man City, but I'm prepared
But you have
preparing
that
myself
feeling.
for like a Brendan Rodgers masterclass and like a Jamie Vardy quadruple.
All right. So what 3-1 do you say?
That's the killer factor, man. Vardy against any of the big clubs like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I looked at it today. 54 goals in 79 games or something
Damn.
against
He's a
top 6 clubs. Like the guy lives
underrated
big
striker.
moments. Unbelievable. So I'm going Man City 3-1. Like Vardy will score, but I don't think it'll be enough.
I'm going Man City 3-1.
They won't keep a clean sheet. I think that much. So
Yeah.
I think.
Okay,
Man
so
City
you're
should
going
take
3-1,
Mm.
and Jake, you went 3-1 as well, was it?
Yeah. Everyone, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go for a 2-1. I don't think it'll be that simple. I think City. I think City can win. I don't know. Do you know what? No, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win Leicester because I do think City, well, Leicester obviously haven't had the best couple of weeks or last few weeks. Obviously they won last week to Norwich, but I mean that's Norwich. But
That means nothing.
I think they could play like how Tottenham played, and try and hit them on the counter, or there is a way to play City, and I think Leicester have done it before. So, and you guys have both gone for City wins, so I'm gonna go 2-1 Leicester.
Okay.
The next game, let's do. Oh, where did my games go?
Chelsea Villa, I think, is probably what you're
Ah, here it is.
after next.
Yes. Where is that one? I can't see that one. Go on. Who was that one? Sorry. Oh, there it is. I see it. Yeah, Chelsea, Aston Villa. Right, I see it. Yes, Chelsea, Aston Villa. I think Chelsea going to beat in 4-0. No, joking. Joking. No,
Yeah, we're 6-0.
Jake's face. No, go on. What predictions for that one? Chelsea Villa.
I can see Chelsea winning 2-0. Comfortable win. We have to remember that I don't think Emi Martinez is in. Don't think Buendia is there because they were
of all of that stuff
involved in
that
that
happened.
recent controversy out
A
there.
bit naughty.
I feel like, is this going to be Lukaku's breakout game where he just runs amok and runs over Tyrone Mings and co? But yeah, I think 2-0. Yeah, I think 2-0 is probably a safe bet. But I could see Chelsea scoring more. But it's similar with Vardy, actually. I mean, Ings does score against big clubs, and he sort of fashions chances out of nowhere. Like, he doesn't. The bicycle kick is a perfect example. He wasn't great all game. He got one chance, banged it in with a worldie. So, maybe against Chelsea it won't make a difference, though, because they're just so solid defensively. They won't give him that much space, especially if it's just him and they know there's no other threat. So, I'll go with Chelsea 2-0.
I don't know, because Aston Villa are a bit of a bogey team for us recently, in like recent seasons. Obviously, we lost last season, end of the last game of the season. We lost there. We usually beat them at home, but again, like Z said, Danny Ings is a bit of a concern. You could always just pick something out, pick out the top bins or something, or just find the back of the net. Like, we could be cruising like 2-1, and then he scores, and then it gets a bit very nervy. But I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea. Okay. I am going to go for 2-0 as well. I agree with Z. I think Chelsea will win 2-0. Yeah. All right. Two more. Arsenal Norwich. How do we reckon that one's going to go? Will Arteta finally get his first win?
Arsenal will absolutely batter them 0-0. You don't understand though. 17 shots, 4 on target.
It It'd be like
Thomas
it'd be like
Partey, 6 interceptions, 81% pass accuracy, 0.1 key chances created. It's just going to be, unbelievable stuff.
Absolute bloodbath, but ends 0-0.
The ghost of Ozil, playing some through balls to strikers aren't there. But no, I think, yeah, I hate Norwich. I hate any club that wears yellow. I think I've already discussed.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
Dortmund being the exception, even though I think yellow is just nasty anyway. But yeah, Norwich are just fodder. Like, they are training ground level, it seems. Even though they won last year, I just don't think their games adapt, or they do adapt it to.
Well,
the
we all
Prem.
put them in our predictions to go down. So
Exactly. So yeah,
They're-
they ain't no leads. So I'm actually going to go Arsenal 2-0.
Hmm.
Norwich are a weird one because it's like they're too good for they're too good for the Championship, but they're not quite good enough for the Premier League.
Yeah,
that's what I agree.
They're a really weird team.
Yeah,
They're like the classic yo-yo team. They're up and down and up and down. And eventually, you just got to keep going down at some point. But I would just really love for it to be like a FIFA game where like Arsenal have like 20 shots on goal and then Norwich get just the one goal and they win 1-0 from their only shot. But I just really like seeing Arsenal fans upset. But I think Arsenal are going to. I can't see anything other than Arsenal win.
yeah.
Really, I'm going to say 3-0 to
Okay.
Arsenal.
I'm gonna go 3-1 because I don't think Arsenal can keep a clean sheet at the moment.
I think it's absolutely fair though. Like, genuinely,
fair enough.
I think at some point Leno might actually be dropped for Ramsdale. At that point, what have you got to lose? Like,
Yeah.
you can't keep a clean sheet. You can't score. Just whack Ramsdale, and you bought him for a reason.
Exactly.
But final game, I think.
So obviously Tottenham are at the top of the league while Arsenal are at the bottom of the league, and that is great for Tottenham fans and horrible for Arsenal fans. Tottenham, Crystal Palace, will they still be top of the league at the end of this weekend? Obviously, I think Nuno's not really they're being solid, they're not conceding, but they're not lighting it up or doing anything impressive. They get past Wolves with a penalty. They get
1-0 wins, right?
1-0 wins.
They're 1-0.
And Son's free kick. I'm sorry, like I rate him as a player, but that was just such terrible goalkeeping. I was
I agree.
At that point, you should have to give 2 points earned back to the league or something. But yeah, I mean, Spurs do look good. And, I really rate him as a manager. He's great defensively, and they have good defensive pieces as well. Like who do they have? I think Tanganga started. They got I can't even pronounce the guy's name. Is it Regulon?
Yeah.
The Spanish guy. I don't know how to pronounce Jesus in Spanish, but yeah, I think. I just think Spurs are going to win that. Maybe Palace will get a goal though. That would be very, very Spursy to be like solid defensively for 85 minutes and then just switch off. But Spurs win. They will still be top at the end of the game week.
Yeah. What's the score? What's the actual score?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Let's go with 1-0 actually. Why change?
Keep the 1-0. Yeah.
Why change their winning formula? Just score 1 goal and then
score a goal.
Don't do anything else.
reckon that's Nuno's team talk. Again, just score a goal, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, probably.
First half, we got well done, lads. You scored a goal. Just
don't concede.
Just don't concede. Don't let them score a goal. We can score a goal, but they can't score a goal.
It's a strong team talk. That. Well, it's obviously working.
Clearly, it's working. But, I don't know. Obviously, Tottenham again. Like they're not like for a team that's top of the league. They've not gone or being early pace setters. They've not shown what early pace setters do, which is quite attractive, sexy football. They're really nice fluid counter attacks and attacking, solid defense. It's kind of score a goal, job done, and then it's working. They're top of the league. They're the only team with a 100% record, and Crystal Palace they look okay. I think.
Gallagher got his
like-
first goal.
Conor Gallagher,
Crystal Palace's first goal, I guess.
Chelsea Loney, formerly of Charlton.
Yeah, I remember him at Charlton.
Yeah,
Great player. Great player.
Yeah, and then we mugged you off and went, no, we'll give him to
Yeah,
Swansea
took
instead.
him away from Charlton, for even though he was playing.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I feel like they're gonna get. I feel like Palace are gonna give Patrick Vieira quite a lot of time to kind of build what he wants. Obviously, after having Roy Hodgson,
He's going to need it, to be fair.
Stabilizing it. Crystal
Yeah.
Palace is more like a project sort of club, I think. Like, because my stepdad's actually a Crystal Palace fan. He worked as security there for quite a long time.
Oh wow.
And he would say, like, he says to me all the time, like we don't want to be just safe from relegation. We want to
No.
improve, and that's
Yeah.
what Sam Allardyce and Roy Hodgson doing, getting him into that nice little cushy 16th to 12th position. Like they're there, like they're flirting. They're flirting with relegation, but nothing's quite serious just yet. Like, it's like they've gone on a couple of dates and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of it's kind of something like that. Yeah.
I
Like,
never even contemplate the idea that Palace could get relegated. They're just
No.
such a their floor, their absolute floor is too high.
Yeah.
But then in fact their ceiling is what restricts them, right? Like they can't sometimes break into like top 10, top 8. But in terms of consistency and steadiness, I always feel like I don't know if the stats support this, it's just like a vibe, like what I feel from them. But yeah, they always seem like they're too good to actually go down, but not quite good enough to make those improvements they want to do, which is why they can rotate through so many managers until they find the right one that clicks.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty nice position to be in for fans.
Yeah.
You're just hoping that you can get something going.
So I'm just gonna say 1-0 Tottenham because why change the formula?
You know what? Yeah, I agree. 1-0 Tottenham for me as well. That's it. 1-0 all around. All right. Well, that's going to be the end of this podcast.
We missed out one, actually.
Did we?
Leeds Liverpool.
Oh, my days.
Oh.
Leeds Liverpool.
Quick fire.
All right. Go on. Quick fire rounds. Z?
Lightning rounds.
I'm actually going 3-2 to Liverpool. This one. I don't think anybody can really stifle Leeds going forward, but Liverpool should be able to hold off for a win.
I'm going 2-2 because I think Leeds just have that kick on press. They just keep going forward and forward at you, and they'll break Liverpool down eventually. So I'm going to say 2-2.
Okay. What did you say? 3-2, Z?
Yeah.
I was going to go 4-3. I just think I know. I just they're so attacking, and Dan James debut.
Not good enough.
Dan James scores his debut goal. Yeah, why not 4-3? 4-3.
Well, yeah,
it's just going to be a complete attacking display.
That's the one thing I was going to say. Like, even about the game, irrespective of the scorecard, it's going to be a great game to watch. Like,
100%.
Both teams just always go out, especially
100%.
Leeds.
Yeah, agreed. I'll definitely be watching that one. Cool. Well, been a great show. I'll speak to you guys again in a week or a couple of weeks, and we can talk about how amazing Cristiano Ronaldo's debut was.
All right. I'll catch you guys soon. Take it easy.
Cool.
All right, and see you guys.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thanks for watching, guys.